Good morning, friends. We are back again to work on chapter number 1, which we had continued yesterday. So, what did we see yesterday? Yesterday, we learned to plot the root of a decimal or a number line, irrational number or a number line, and we also learned how to rationalize the denominator. So, nearly the first part of the lesson is over. Now, we'll move to the laws of exponents, which you have already done before, but we have to extend this to the real numbers. So which are the laws of exponents that you have done? Then you will see that the laws of exponents which you have done include, for example, we have got a cube into a raised to 4. I'll put a number here, make it easier. Let us say 2 cube into 2 raised to 4. So what is 2 cube written? 2 into 2 into 2. We need the method of current factorization. So 2 cube is 2 into 2 into 2, and 2 raised to 4 is 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So what did you get this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you got 2 raised to 7. So we can write 2 raised to 3 into 2 raised to 4 is 2 raised to 7. And how did you get this? You first took this 3, 2 raised to 3, and multiplied 2 raised to 7. But then we added the number of 2's to make it 7. So we get the general rule a raised to m into a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. Now this rule is valid only when the bases are same. You can see the base here 2 and 2. The base is the same, so this is the first rule. Okay? So now if we have got 2 raised to 3 divided by 2 raised to 4, we get 2 into 2 into 2 upon 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So we cut it up, and what remains? 1 upon 2 raised to 1, or 1 upon 2. How did we get this? This was by subtracting. So a raised to m upon a raised to n equal to a raised to m minus n. But here actually I did 1 upon a raised to n minus n. So why I shifted this down? Because the denominator is bigger, so I brought 3 down. Okay? Can I take 4 up? Yes, I can do that also. I can write a raised to m minus n also. So what we get, a by m, a raised to m divided by a raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus n. But here I get a negative power. So what you can observe, what you can see here, you got 1 upon, when you brought the m down, you got 1 upon 2 raised to 1. When you took the m up, you get 2 raised to minus 1. Why? When you take the 4 here, then 3 minus 4 becomes minus 1. So this is one more rule you see. How we write? 1 upon a raised to m is a raised to minus n. Remember this. This is a very, very important rule for the negative powers. So we have got one rule is this. When the bases are same, you add the powers. For division, when the bases are same, you subtract the powers, and 1 upon a raised to m is a raised to minus n. So it means that if the power is positive in the denominator, when it goes in the numerator, it becomes negative. So it was positive in the numerator, it goes in the denominator, it becomes negative. So any power, the base remains the same, but if the power is going from denominator to numerator, it should change the sign. Going from numerator to denominator, it should change the sign. Okay? So these are the general rules. So if you want to brief them down, let us brief them down and start writing to make use of it. A raised to m into a raised to n, we got a raised to n plus n. So if the base is the same and you have to multiply them, it is just adding the powers. A raised to m divided by a raised to n. It was upon a raised to m minus n. Then we saw 1 upon a raised to n. When the power is in the denominator goes in the numerator, the sign of the power changes. Then we have also one rule, a raised to m into b raised to m. What is this a raised to m? This time the base is not the same, the power is same. Let us check. 2 raised to 3 into 5 raised to 3. The base is not the same, the power is the same. So what is this? I can write 2 into 2 into 2 into 5 into 5 into 5. Yes? This is 8, this is 125. 8 into 125 is 1000. How to write 1000 in powers? It is 10 raised to 3. I hope it is clear on the board. Yes? I have moved slightly out of the board, so let me put it inside the board. Okay? So you can see now. So what the rule we got? A raised to m into b raised to m is ab raised to m. And we can use this tool in many different ways. Suppose we have got 12 raised to 5. 12 raised to 5 can be written as 4 into 3 raised to 5 can be written as 4 raised to 5 into 3 raised to 5, because they reverse the rule. AB raised to m is a raised to m into b raised to m. So 12 raised to 5, what is 12? 4 3s are 12 raised to 5. Now I separate it, so 4 raised to 5. But 4 can be also written as 2 square, so raised to 5 into 3 raised to 5. So here we have encountered a new rule. So we have done these 4 rules. Now what is this rule? See, what is a raised to m, the whole power raised to m? What do we do here? So let us understand from this only. Let me take 2 square raised to 5. Now what is 2 square raised to 5? 2 square raised to 5 means 2 square 5 times 2 square into 2 square into 2 square into 2 square into 2 square. 2 square 5 times. Now what was the rule here? If the bases are the same, you have to add the powers. So here the base is the same, add the powers. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 2 raised to 10. Or directly 2 5s are 10. So we get a raised to m raised to n is a raised to m into n or mn. So we get the new rule, a raised to m raised to n is a raised to m n. So these are the 5 basic rules you can see here, and we are going to do a sum, quite a few sums with the help of this. But here I have shown you step by step how we added. So here what you have to see, the base is the same, multiplication, powers are added. Base is the same, division, powers are subtracted. Then when the power changes from denominator to numerator or numerator to denominator, the sign becomes the opposite. Means if it was minus m in the denominator, it would become plus m in the numerator. If it is plus m in the denominator, it becomes minus m in the numerator. Then here the bases are not the same, but the powers are the same. So you first multiply the bases and then put the power, and then here it is a power raised to power, so we multiply the powers. So don't get confused, understand this thoroughly, because your sums depends upon your understanding. So I hope it is clear till here. Now we'll see the exponents for real numbers. So these are the rules we have done so far for the rational numbers, integers, yes. Now what is for the irrational numbers? For example, I have root 2. Now how do I write root 2 as a power? Or I have got cube root of 4. How do I write this in the power form? So this is what we are going to do today, how to write that in the power form. Okay, there is one more interesting thing before I touch here. Let us see this one. What is 5 upon 5 equal to 1? What is 7 upon 7 equal to 1? What is root 2 upon root 2 equal to 1? Yes? When the numerator and denominator are equal, it is equal to 1. So a raised to m upon a raised to m should also be 1, because now remember, do not apply the rule for 0 by 0. 0 by 0 is an undefined term, okay? And even infinity by infinity is an undefined term. But for real numbers, you can see what happens. 0 is a real number, but 0 upon 0 is an indefined term. Infinity upon infinity. Now we got am upon am. Because the numerator and denominator is the same, we get 1. But what is the rule? In division, you have to subtract the powers. So now this becomes a raised to m minus m equal to 1. But what is m minus m? M minus m is 0. So a raised to 0 is equal to 1. So this is a very important rule. Remember this. Write it here. A raised to 0 is equal to 1. It is not only for 0. If I even got 3 square into 4 cube, the whole raised to 0, the answer will be 1. Because anything raised to 0 is 1. Yes, so this is a good thing from this we get. Yes, I hope you understood this. So one more thing I added here. Any number raised to the power 0 is 1. For real numbers, we have nth root of a equal to a raised to 1 upon n. Okay, this is the rule for real numbers, remember. So how should we write root 2? Root 2 is 2 raised to 1 upon 2. Why 1 upon 2? Square root. Now this is cube root of 4. So this inside the thing you have to write outside as 4, and cube root means 1 upon 3. Yes? Now should we check? Let us verify this. Let us do root 2 into root 2. Now we know root 2 into root 2 is root 4, and root 4 is nothing but 2. So we have root 2 into root 2 equal to 2. Yes? But now let us check through this. We wrote root 2 equal to 2 raised to half. So 2 raised to half into 2 raised to half. Base is the same. Add the powers. So 2 raised to 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 equal to 2. What is half plus half? 2 by 2 equal to 1. This is 1. So 2 raised to 1 equal to 2. So this is true. Can you see? By putting the value we got root 2 into root 2 equal to 2, and by doing the power form also I got it 2. So this is verified form of writing the powers of real numbers. Let us try this out also. Now let us see whether this works. Cube root of 4 is 4 raised to 1 by 3. How we can write proof? I'll write root 4 into root 4 into root 4. 4 4s are 16. 16 4s are 64. Okay? It's a cube root. So you get, what do you get? No, this is a cube root. So we do not write the square root. We write the cube root. So cube root of 4. Because it is cube root, I multiply 3 times. Cube root of 4 into cube root of 4 into cube root of 4. Why 3 times? Because this becomes how much? Cube root of 64. Yes? And what is the cube root of 64? We know 64 equal to 4 into 4 into 4. So cube root of 64 is 4. Now writing this as cube root of 4 as 4 raised to 1, 1 by 3, 4 raised to 1 by 3 into 4 raised to 1 by 3. The base is the same, so we add the powers. The 3 plus 1 by 3. That is 4 raised to 3 by 3. 3 3 cuts, so 4 raised to 1 equal to 4. This I have just verified, but I hope you understood how to write the powers. Okay? Now you can see one more way. Cube root of 4 is 4 raised to 1 by 3. But what is 4? 4 we can write as 2 square. 1 by 3. So 4 I written as 2 square raised to 1 by 3. I am using which rule? This rule. A raised to m is A raised to mn. So 2 raised to 2 raised to 1 by 3 is 2 raised to 2 into 1 by 3 is 2 raised to 2 by 3. So cube root of 4 can be also written as 2 raised to 2 by 3. Now when we will do further sums, what we will see, I converted this 4 into 2. So we break the sum into prime numbers to solve the sum. Okay, so I'll add one more step to the writing form, the pattern here. What is the formula? The nth root of a is written as a raised to 1 upon n. Okay, so write all these identities in your book. Now make an identity or a formula sheet and write all this formula in the sheet. And now let's start to use this sheet to try to solve our sums. Okay. Okay, this is the identities. I want you to write them each one in a fair sheet. This is identity sheet. You have to understand this. In your IMO ISOs, there are many sums based on this kind of powers, laws of exponent, and this is very, very important. I want to write down this formula sheet and always keep the sheet at your hand when you are solving sums. As you practice this formula, then you will get used to it. Okay? So now let us see one sum. 4 raised to 3 by 2. Now we have got a power in the form of a fraction. So this sum can be done in two ways. Let us see both the ways. First I write this as 4. What is the top power? 3. So I can write this as, first of all, 4 into 3 into 1 upon 2. I have written this 3 into 1 upon 2. What is 3 into 1 upon 2? 3 upon 2. Now I multiplication, what happens? Power raised to power. So I can write this 4 raised to 3 raised to 1 by 2. Now what is 4 cube? 4 into 4 into 4 is 64 raised to 1 by 2. And what is the square root of 64? 1 by 2 is square root. Square root of 64 is 8. 8 8s are 64. You got the answer? Now we'll write the same sum in the next pattern. I just reverse the order. The same sum, I write 4 into 1 by 2 into 3. So I write 4 raised to half, the whole raised to 3. Now 4 raised to half means square root. What is the square root of 4? 2. So 2 to the power 3 is also 8. So this same sum is solved in two different ways, but 4 raised to 3 by 2 is 8. Now I will show you one more way we can do 4 raised to 3 by 2. First I will break this 4 into its prime factorization form. So 4 is 2 square. So this became 2 square raised to 3 by 2. The identity a raised to m raised to n. Power raised to power is multiplication. So it becomes 2 raised to 2 into 3 by 2. This 2 and this 2 got cut. So what remains? 2 raised to 3, and that is also 8. So because it is 4, you can see breaking the sum into its prime factor makes it much more simple. Yes? I hope you have followed. Now we will do a few examples in the book. Should we try it out? Okay? So these sums are now looking quite easy, but you should also learn of a technique to save your time. For example, what is 2 raised to 5 into 5 raised to 3? Calculate. 2 raised to 5 into 5 raised to 3. I want the answer. Let us say this is the MCQ sum. 2 raised to 5 into 5 raised to 3. Now you see how the use of identities is very useful in doing this sum. 2 raised to 5 is 32. On solving you get 2 raised to 5 is 32. 5 raised to 3 is 125. What is 32 into 125? If you sit and calculate, you will get the answer. But how will make it simpler by this way? You can say it's 5 raised to 3. So, if you want to make the powers the same, this is which is the smaller power? 3. And the bigger power is, yes, that is 5. I want to make the powers same. So, this power I will break up into two forms. How can I break this up? So you know, keep the base the same and the powers are added. Yes? So what is 2 raised to 5? I can write 2 raised to 5 is 2 raised to 2 plus 3. Yes, this is the step I am doing, but you have to do it mentally, you have to get speedy. So 2 raised to 5, 2 raised to 5 I have written as 2 plus 3. So what is 2 plus 3? I can write it 2 square into 2 cube into 5 raised to 3. Are you seeing the line of the thinking? The 5 I broke down into 2 plus 3 because there is a 3 and I wanted a 3, so 2 plus 3. Now a raised to m plus n is a raised to m into a raised to n. So decided. Now the powers have become the same. So what I am going to use here, a raised to m into b raised to n is ab raised to m. So 2 square into 2 into 5 raised to 3. These both are brought by using this identity. So what is 2 raised to 2? I know it is 4. 2 5s are 10. What is the cube of 10? 1000. So we get the answer 4000. Even if you had done 2 raised to 5 32 into 3 raised to 5. Sorry, 5 raised 2 raised to 5 32 into 5 raised to 3 125. 125 to 32 you would get 4000. But what I did here, you can see I broke up into, what I did, broke up this into 2 and 3. Now 2 5s I know 10. So I clubbed 2 and 5 together. So 10 cube is, so what I did, out of this 5 I removed the 3. So 2 5s are 10. 10 cube is 1000. And what to remain? 4. So 4 into 1000 is 4000. So these are the way to make. So when the numbers are given, you can calculate in many different ways. But when variables are given, we should be able to break down into smaller parts. So when you broke down to smaller parts, the prime factors, the sum becomes much more easy. Now this is nothing but just mental thinking, how to make the sums easier. So let us do a few examples now. Now this sum is not asked in your textbook, but I have put this sum on the board and you will find it is very simple to do. Look at how the sum looks. 9 cube into 3 equal to 729 raised to x. Okay? And you have to find out the value of x. Okay? So this sum will do by the prime factorization method and using these identities. This will look very difficult. You can go by trial and error, but let us see how it works. So you know 9 comes in the power of 3. 3 is given, 9 is given, 729. Do you notice 729? Do the prime factorization of 729. So this is what you have to 3. 3 2s are 6. 3 4s are 12. 3 3s are 9. 3 8 1s are 3 27s are 3 9s are 3 3s are and 3 1s are. So 721 is 1 2 3 4 5 6 3 raised to 6. So 729 is 3 raised to 6 and the whole to the power x. Now what is 9? 9 is 3 square to the power 3 into 3. So I have broken this sum into the prime factors. 9 as written as 3 square. 3 square is 9 and raised to the power 3 was there. Into 3 is 3 raised to 6 raised to x. Then what is the rule here? A raised to m raised to n is a raised to mn. So multiply 2 into 3. 6 into 3. Now 3 we can write 3 raised to 1 equal to 3 raised to 6x. Clear? Now you see when you same base into multiplication to add the power. So 3 raised to 6 plus 1 equal to 3 raised to 6x. Now if the base is the same, the powers also have to be the same. So 6 plus 1 is 7 equal to 6x implies x equal to 7 upon 6. So the answer of x. Now this kind of sum is not given in your book, but in the IMO, the ISO, they ask you this type of sums. So if you are going to give those type of exams, you have to practice this type of sums also. Okay? So I'll give you a few sums for practice, but just now I'll only send you the textual sums. First to be thorough with that. I told you again, make a formula sheet of all this formula, write them down, understand them properly. Don't learn them, don't mug them, don't cram them. Understand them. You will learn them for the using of this formulas, but do not crack these formulas. See how you have to work out in the practice. So this also you should know, and you should do something that makes your speed faster. You should know the power of a certain numbers, and all this will come only through practice. Okay, so we have finished this topic today, laws of exponents, and this is the last part of the chapter. So the chapter is done today. So what did we do in the chapter? I'll revise one more time. We started with the number systems, natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, and rational numbers P by Q. Yes, and from the rational numbers, the P by Q, we learned what is a rational number. It is either a terminating decimal or a non-terminating recurring decimal. So a non-terminating recurring decimal we learned how to write in the P by Q form. And this year the new part introduced was the irrational numbers. Numbers which are non-terminating and non-recurring are called irrational numbers, root 2, root 3 and so on. Then we also proved that the root 2 is an irrational number. Yes, that we had done so far, and then we have now gone to the powers. So you have to learn to insert irrational numbers between rational numbers. So that is what we done in the exercise. So now one whole revision you need to see. The chapter is over here. Yes. Then we also learn to do what? Plot irrational numbers on the number line. How that is done? Yesterday we did it. And also that rational numbers are written in the P by Q form, but generally the Q is not kept irrational, it is made rational. So we also did rationalizing the denominator. And today we have done the laws of exponents for real numbers. So here we end our chapter. I hope you understood the chapter. Now we'll have a test very shortly, either this Sunday or on the Wednesday. So prepare yourself, keep revising. Any doubts, you have my WhatsApp number. You can always send me a message on WhatsApp. Okay? We'll go slowly, we'll go thoroughly. Take your time and to understand. We are not in any kind of race. Okay? Please understand. This is a matter of lockdown, I know, but we are not in any race. You have to finish your work, but there is no comparison, no competition right now. Go by your place, but go with detailed understanding and do the sums properly. Okay? Even if you do the few sums, try the sums on your own, understand the concept thoroughly and do it on your own. Okay? So we'll end here today. Thank you.